Alrighty. I'm gonna really quickly. I'm not gonna go into this full. It's a 50-minute game. I'm gonna kind of cover like the first 10 minutes about because the first 10 minutes are very vital on becoming becoming on like getting online, making sure you're farmed, making sure that your buffs are secure, like making sure that the enemy team isn't making plays to make for Gold Fury or set up for Pyromancer. I'm going to quickly go over like mistakes that I've been seeing in the first 10 minutes of the game. From at least Gab's perspective, I don't have a top-down view, and kind of like point them in the right direction on at least farming a little better, or being aggressive whenever there's opportunity. Okay,
Like, I think Faded goes in. I think
so
just
they're
go for
discussing about what they could potentially,
But I think we
you can
camp
kind of
the
listen to
Villa
them.
right here. 100%.
You kind of hear them discussing about what ifs and what can they do or what like potentially could happen in their team fights. Obviously, they can't really see that unless because you got to think about it, right? The enemy team is discussing the same exact thing that you're discussing. They're discussing what happens if Naja goes in, what happens if Geb does whatever, what happens if who does what or who does where, and then it's just a whole bunch of what ifs, right? You want to discuss about what you should be doing going into a team fight, but then once the team fight happens, you got to discuss what you know based on instead of like what ifs, right? Because you can talk about what ifs all day long. You can talk about what if Neith gets Neith gets an ultimate on Chernobog or whatever, but in reality, at the end of the day, um, there's not going to be a whole lot you could do until you get to that what you know based off of what if. Okay, something that they did discuss at the beginning of the game was at least the support. The person who's talking, Banana, discussed they don't have a lot of peel, and she vaguely described that in the fountain, and you could hear it if you go over the video and listen to the communications. Um, that's untrue. They actually have quite a lot of peel. You have Nox herself that has two forms of peel. She has a silence, an AoE silence, and then she has a root that you can't, you pretty much can't get out of. That in and of itself is two forms of peel, and then you got Osiris, which has a AoE stun, um, which is a lot of peel. You have Chernobog who can peel for himself with a stun. He has a 3 that can peel for himself. A lot of people look at CC as peel, sure, but you got to think that escapes are just as much peel for themselves as it is for anything else. Chernobog also has his ultimate, so he has two forms of negating damage if he needs to, and then he also has a stun. Not a stun, I think it's a root that he has in his kit. And then Kukulkan has no peel at all, really. He has his slither. But then you get into Kukulkan's ultimate. Uh, his ult itself is a huge knockup, huge amount of damage. And what it does is it clears the path of the ultimate's travel to make it to where people have to get out of the way or they sacrifice taking a lot of damage. And that in and of itself is quite a lot of peel. And of course you have Ardia, which has a root. She has the cripple, actually not a root. She has a cripple. She has a stun. She does have a root actually as well. She has healing. Ardio is a CC machine and she should not be taken lightly. Okay. Um, We'll also go into the draft real fast. They drafted pretty okay. Personally, I would like to see an assassin come out of instead of the Osiris, but they ended up winning this game from what I remember, and then that worked out for them. But the draft for uh, this team in particular isn't very strong. Their duo lane is looking to play very safe. I like to see more aggressive comps when it comes into these competitive games, and I like to see more damage coming out of the ADC compared to what Neith. I don't really like Neith a lot as a pick in general. From what the ADC said, is Neith was picked to combat Chernobog. Shibalanke could have done a lot better job of that. Sure, you got Nox's CC that could have been, like that could have canceled his dash, but at the same time, it's like you're basing it off of the what if Nox uses her CC. Um, you shouldn't be in a position to where the Nox can really use that CC, and then you should be able to use that dash safely. Um, and like, I mean, really, you have Ardio's cripple, but like Shibalanke could blind the Chernobog ultimate to where he lands, so when he lands, he's blind, and he isn't able to, give himself pretty good direction. I feel like Shibalanki would have been a lot better against Chernobog, and he does actually, Shibalanki does pretty good in lane against Chernobog to begin with. He has that dash to get out of Chernobog's route. Um, and then he also has pretty good poke, counter poke against Chernobog, and he does have a lot of damage to scale, and he's able to box Chernobog aside from when he uses his ultimate. Geb is very strong. Geb's good for the CC cleanse against Nox, though you could have seen better. Geb isn't a bad support by any means, but you could have seen better, like, instead of cleansing for this team, because you can only cleanse so much, of the attacking and engaging. You could have been seeing like a Kumbhakarna ulting, like, or mezzing like the Osiris, Kumbhakarna, like just getting off any sort of like engagement on the your back line. I mean, I think Kumba just overall doesn't have that shield, sure, but he provides a lot more than what Geb currently does, and also gives great and super good setup into Scylla's ultimate, um, and just like, you know, you can't really miss a Scylla ult off of Kumba ult unless you don't time it right. Um, Unavoidable damage pretty much. You can't really beat, you can't really Aegis in time. And then of course you have Guan Yu. Guan Yu is very strong, but Guan Yu feels like he doesn't have a lot of, he's a character that heals and he has a character that commits whenever he ults, but there doesn't look like there's a lot of commitment based off of what the junglers picked. So you have Naja, he uses his 3 and then he ults. Really, that's what he does when he gets into the team's backline. He uses a sash, he uses ult. He gets in, he does a lot of damage, and then he kind of gets out. What I would have liked to see instead of a Naja uh, as a jungler, Naja's a good pick. Um, Synergizing with the Guan Yu, because usually the jungle and the Guan Yu, the solo laner, is going to be synergizing a lot because the solo is kind of harassing the back line. You're kind of going to be back there with the jungler. You could have seen something like a Ravana who's able to stay in the fight, who's able to do a lot of damage, who's able to, to jump over, Kukulkan's ultimate, or who's able to kind of like use the 2 to get out of, Nox's route, or you could have used the 2 for Ravana to jump over Nox's ultimate. You could have done a lot with Ravana. You use the ultimate with Ravana to deal a lot more damage. Like, Ravana would have synergized a lot better with Guan Yu, or gods like Thor, gods like Ratatasker, gods who jump in and commit and cause havoc on the back line with Guan Yu to make them turn around and make them do a lot of damage, or try to do damage to you, and that enables for Scylla to do that huge amount of burst damage. And then, like I said, I wouldn't have liked to see Neith. I don't feel like she does too much burst damage. I mean, she does do a lot of burst damage, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't do like consistent damage is what I mean. She doesn't do like, her autos don't feel like they have a lot of like heftiness into them. Like, it's just like Neith just doesn't feel like she provides enough to what like an Uller could do, or a Shibalanke could do, or like I wouldn't say Apollo. Apollo can do pretty much what Neith can do. There's just better picks, and you guys could have had a better draft overall. Okay, that's just my opinion. You can agree to disagree. You could point out some points that you don't disagree with, and we can discuss them. But that's just what I'm getting out of this. I feel like your draft could have been just a lot more solid and a lot stronger. Okay, play this at 2 times speed just to kind of speed things along. Don't want to fuck with the quality. Um, where's the speed button? There it is. Okay. So right here, a lot of good poke. Very good poke. I like it. One thing I don't like in particular is, well, actually, no. I mean, this wasn't a bad call. Going to purple is not a bad call at all. But right here, you're discussing about going to red. There's no reason why the ADC and the support should be splitting red experience with mid and jungler right now, because you want your mid and jungler to hit 5 before dual lane, because you want that jungler to be 5 so that he can effectively gank dual lane with an ultimate. Good freezing right here. They're going to push up, and then you're going to continue to freeze. That's great. You're not poking a whole lot. You're just focusing on clearing the wave. That's great. RDO's not poking as much as she could. But like right here, very bad. Like, look at this. Look, like, this is like bronze level stuff. You're 4-way splitting a red buff. Like, what are you getting out of this? You got like 20 gold. 20 gold split between 4 ways. So you guys got 20 gold each for 4-way splitting uh, that red buff. That's not great. And then plus you also, like, look at this. You also got creeps into your tower, which means you also lost more gold because that tower is making it to where like those minions are worth, I think it's what 75% less gold. So you're missing a lot. I don't even know how many creeps that you got. You got 4 creeps out of that, and so you missed a wave. So you missed quite a lot of experience and gold off of that because you decided to rotate to red buff 4-way splitting for no reason. What you guys could have done instead, you guys could have cleared that wave and then could have looked to get the oracles, because oracles are super strong to begin with. Not in XP and not in gold. They don't give a lot of gold in XP early on, or actually at all. They just give vision, and vision's very valuable. Like if the jungler decides to cross over from your back camps or you're looking at your red to look towards ganking, like you could have vision on that, and you could have done those instead of 4-way splitting. Right camps are still seemingly up. You guys could have checked that as well. Right here, you guys should have been more aggressive, more aggressive. Look at, unless you already had shell, like, I mean, you guys could have been like looking to pressure them out, going in front of the wave to making sure RDO doesn't get experience, and then just like overall shutting her out of that XP and then making her forced to fight you or forced to lose experience and gold. Good poke. Yep, poking, it's great. Look to not stand in the wave against Chernobog. Lost beads there. Good shield. You could have looked to froze again like you guys did the freezing before at your tower line. You could have froze a little bit more again. Let those creeps come up a little bit, a lot more actually, and then force the RDO to be out of position so that if you guys wanted to fight, you guys could have fought RDO. Because she's poked out right now. I hope this is a kill. Nope. RDO does really good in playing aggressive, but doesn't do as well playing on the more defensive side because she has to use those CCs to defensively guard and like protect her ADC or herself in this scenario. Um, and those being offline could have meant you were aggressive on Chernobog as well, um, because the CC would have been down. It's just a chain of events. Like CC's down, like you could have done this or you could have done that. It's a bunch of what ifs, and they're not bad scenarios to play in your head. Just gotta play more aggressive. I know Gab and Neath isn't an aggressive combo to begin with, and RDO and Chernobog is. But you guys could have been grabbing more and just getting more out of them. It's a very rough matchup. Guan Yu versus Nox, like silences out is clear. Picks and bans were kind of late. Something I see here, you guys clear left camps, and then Scylla backs. She has mana. She can still use her crush. She backs. Look at that. You also have kill potential on Kukulkan right now. He holds XP. Like, Geb's taking a lot of poke for no reason at all. Those right camps were up. You guys could have cleared mid. Scylla could have backed, and then you guys could be going to right camps. Jungler's looking for XP. Guan's dead again. That's not great. Okay, something that I'm going to note right here, right? Naja is looking to invade their jungler, invade their jungle, better yet. That's good. You always want to look to invade jungle because what he was thinking, I can tell you what he was thinking right now. I just got my speed. He tried invading my speed. I'm going to go steal their speed, right? What the jungler should be asking is where is, like, he walked on a ward. I can tell you he walked on a ward right now. The second he walked on that ward, RDO is dipping back. RDO is dipping back to go help, okay? His bad thing should have been a little better. He should have known better not to walk on the ward because the ward's going to be right here. He should be walking at least this direction. I know it takes longer, but and plus by the time he got there, I think Osiris is up. So it would have been really risky to even invade. But just like in general, he shouldn't have been up there like by himself. He should always have like the support up there with him, like to try to get him out in case things go sour, or had like Neath or not Neath, Scylla be up there, or Scylla, like you guys at least call out where is the mid laner, or where is the the jungler's obviously coming, like where's the mid, like is the mid on the way, like you want to have vision, you want to like base it off of the what you know instead of the what if I went and got this and got out scot-free. That's not going to happen in these competitive games. Everyone's going to be warded. Like the Osiris would have probably called to protect his jungle against the Naja. Like, he shouldn't have been there by himself without like confirmation about where like the enemy is. He didn't know where Kukulkan was. I'm pretty sure Kukulkan came straight from base because he was low when Scylla backed as well. So he was going to be on the way there. He had in like the ability to cut off Naja at speed buff. Plus, Guan Yu dying meant that the solo lane could rotate. Overall, he's in a very bad spot for no reason at all. He's going to end up dying here. That's unfortunate. I think your ward just got cleared here. So you know that they have a ward there. See, Neath just isn't able to take the pressure of Chernobog compared to what like a Shibalanke could do. They have to back, unfortunately. I think that means the tower takes a lot of damage, if not falls here. Yep, tower dies, giving up gold to them. I think what should have happened was the second that you would have saw that them poking out like that, like him poking and just putting just immense pressure, like there should have been, like they're fighting over there, that's fine. Naja's still pretty high. Instead of Naja going into those camps, Naja should have been getting those camps and coming straight to right lane because, hey guys, I'm backing. Like we have to back. We can't fight this Chernobog anymore. He's almost out of mana. He's probably going to ult. You know, if Naja rotates with his ultimate, he can pull Chernobog's ultimate or pull Chernobog's beads, and then enables him to back up or at least show presence that he's there. Like you don't always have to gank. Just show presence that you're on the ward. Just make Chernobog back up so he doesn't grab your guys' tower. You guys lost, 100 gold. You lost your T1 tower for no reason. Naja found it more appropriate to grab those oracles than to grab and save T1 tower, and then dies for it. Just bad decision making. Red's coming up, speeds up. It's a good counter ward. It's always great to put a ward there. Get the red buff. Ardio's looking to like pressure. You guys are playing super afraid. See, level 9. What is that? Level... Get this out of the way. I can't even get that out of the way. I think it's a level 10 Kukulkan. Like you're just vastly, a little bit under leveled right now compared to what you could be. How many times? So we got a gank on solo lane, but there wasn't any wards up. That's not a good sign. We need to have wards up in that solo lane, guys. That's just, just amateurish. You're looking to play super safe, but you're not looking to make plays. We're keeping ultimates up ults up or all the time. Like we're not looking to really do a lot. We're not looking to poke a lot. We're just looking to just stay safe and farm. But at the same time, they're staying safe and they're farming. They're getting more powerful based off of your guys' mistakes. Like they're able to just do a lot more compared to what you guys are offering or what you respond to. Chernobog's going to purple. Scylla could have rotated. You didn't have a creep wave coming up for a while. Oh, did we miss a Scylla ult there? We'll replay that. Wow, that was missed by a long shot. Holy hell. Okay. We watch that one more time. You have Osiris coming up on a ward. Your effective range, like a lot of people, they don't think about what you could do as an effective range of a character compared to what you can do versus how close you need to be. Scylla didn't have to be that close. She didn't have to put herself like up in front like that and then just like put herself in full display for a gank or like just put herself out of position really. Like if you're capable of dealing that same amount of damage at a farther distance, you should be. There's no reason why you should be sitting that far up and that close up to the enemy when you could be doing the same thing farther away and staying safer. That's just a mistake I saw here. So Guan Yu is on the run again. They weren't able to kill him. Nox doesn't show back up. They're calling for a team fight in mid. You have Osiris show up. You have Kukulkan coming from behind, and then like you see Kukulkan coming from behind, and yet you still pushed forward, and you like, all right, sure, it's just Osiris behind me, that's okay. But then you see like if you are still watching your map, you can still see Kukulkan is there, like coming from and flanking from behind you. Like that should mean that you should just back up. You should run away. You're not in a good spot at all. Ward placement, I think it's pretty shaky in general. I don't know whose wards these are. If they're the middle laners, like they should be closer to the entrance. They should be right here, so that it covers the whole entire entrance instead of just like this entrance in mid lane. Yeah. Well, I mean, I could go on. This is a long, long game that I could cover, but I don't want to cover the entire game because it's very long. But I did cover the first 12 minutes to point out like some mistakes that you guys could be or capitalizing off of things better on your guys' early game, and hopefully that helps you see that there's some things that you guys could be doing better. And like drafting, kind of needs to be worked on. Instead of playing just such safe characters, it's a lot better if you play characters that are a lot more aggressive and a lot more in your face. Um, to respond to their more aggressive, like they have a more aggressive comp, you can also respond to that, be more aggressive. Because if you meet aggression with aggression, that means that you guys can play on the same playing field. If you're meeting aggression with aggression is more like an early game comp with a comp that's more like um, safe, like they're going to be able to take stuff from you, and you don't want them to do that. So if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. I hope that points out some things. But I hope to maybe work with you guys, and I hope that helps you see, some mistakes you've made. Overall, I'd say you guys are, you know, pretty okay. Pretty okay.